Hey live, Tracy Allen, living in my truth. I have someone here tonight that's gonna be a blast and got a story that's out of this world, but doing great. How many years of recovery, Steph? 20 years of recovery. My girl Stephanie. You know, so you know she got some stuff for us. This is the kind I like. So we can get it in. You know what I mean? 20 years, that's not too far from my days. You know what I'm saying? You need to see that here?
That's fine. Thank good.
Yes. Y'all come on in. Come on in. I'm going to wait for you guys to come in. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Uh-oh. I forgot this stuff. Take this. Now I got to put this on. Lunching. I'm always lunching. Every time is always something. And I just swear I be on time.
That's all right. You be on time.
I do it every time. Oh shoot, I forgot. Every single time. But it don't matter. Because we get it in anyway. That's the real deal. To get it in anyway. And that's what we're going to do here. Give me one moment. There we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all know I do this often. I do this very often. You know, always trying to be ready. And I'm going to set this up too. All right, and let's see if this thing going to do right by me today. I'm going to wait for you guys to come on in. Sometimes they'll pop right up, start popping right up, and they'll come on. And if not, we're going to start anyway. Okay. That's just how that has to be. Yeah. I had a pretty good day today.
That's good.
It was my grandson Ryan's birthday. Come say hey. That's my son Ryan. He gonna go down with I was on living in my truth with my mama. That's right. It's my boy. Yeah. I don't know why I do this. I think I did it wrong. Hey y'all, waiting for y'all to come so we can get this in. It's going to be an awesome show tonight. This show is titled, God, There Is No Turning Back.
That's it.
That's what it's titled. That's what Steph said. God, there is no turning back.
Nope.
And I thought that would make a beautiful title. So that's how we're going to title this tonight. If it's there, it should be coming on here. So soon. All right. Y'all, I do want to talk about the LNMT Awards. The LNMT Awards is really selling out for June 27th at Dreams in Chester, 400 Avenue of the State. Tickets are very, very right now. You know, I said that last week, and that's just because I've been holding on to these 15 tickets I have left. You know, so they are up for sale. You know, if there's anybody who wants to grab these last tickets. Again, it will be food. It's definitely going to be fun. You're going to have entertainment. DJ Vinny, you know, as DJ. Ashley Rice is going to, you know, put her thing down with us. Oh, it's just going to be beautiful, y'all. You know how I do. So, come on now. Hey, Breon. What's up, bruh? You know what I'm doing. Talking about that show. You know. Free, did you get your ticket? Because I'm definitely looking forward to you to come. Okay? I got 15 tickets left. It's time for you to get a ticket.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
He said, I'm sorry to interrupt on a live. You know what I mean? Our MC is going to be Dr. Edwina Bell, Miss Monica Washington, and Miss Sophia English. You know, they're going to be hosting the show. You know, it's going to be awesome, y'all. Y'all got to come on out, check us out, you know, and see how we do. But most importantly, you got to walk that purple carpet. So y'all have to know that this is like coming to the Emmys. That is what I'm trying to make this thing to do. You know what I mean?
Royalty.
And purple is what?
Royalty.
Royalty.
That's what it is.
Purple is also recovery.
Yeah.
As well as lupus recovery.
All right.
You know, my favorite, my three things that I have in me in life. You know? So you gotta come on out and enjoy with us, you know. And oh, here I go. Oh shoot, I thought I found it, y'all, but I didn't. I'll keep working on this, and we're gonna get started with this episode. Okay? Say, God, there is no turning back now. I just love the topic. The topic is going to be vicious. Vicious. You know? So I can't wait for that part. You know? I'm going to give them a couple more minutes to start coming on. Hey, Veneer. How you doing? How you doing, my crazy son? He can't help himself. Yeah. He can never come over my house and not take something. I need to be patting him down right now, y'all, because he might got one of my sculptures.
I took paper bowls, though.
He took bowls. That's a shame. Paper bowls. Unreal.
I cut you a break.
He ain't told me he cut me a break, huh? That boy can never come in this house and not take something. And everybody know I'm talking about out here. Yeah, he is too much for me. But I'm gonna start this up. You know, I'm trying to wait for others to come on. Y'all know I can't see. That's why I gotta get this other one on. You know, so I can see these names that are popping up. You know, I know it's getting nice outside too, y'all. Don't be slacking down there and everybody wanna watch the replay. You know, I know how that rolls too. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna give you some real stuff. You know, period. Who's that? Veneer. Hey, Veneer. Did I say that already? Oh shucks. All right, so
He's up here.
you see. First time I got flowers on the show. Y'all see this thing is growing. I'm telling you. Look at that. Ain't that beautiful?
And here's a copy of my book for you, our autograph.
Oh my gosh, he has a book, y'all. Y'all have to get this book. You know, By His Grace is called, by Stephanie Hunt. The one and only right here. You know? So I'm gonna let Stephanie have the floor right now while I try to get my other screen on. All right? Y'all ladies and gentlemen, this is Stephanie Hunt. She's here to share her story.
Hi, everyone. I'm a blessed and grateful recovering addict named Stephanie. And due to the grace and mercy of God today, I haven't used it. For that, I'm truly grateful.
Amen.
I just want to share a little bit of my story and how I got to recovery. I'm the oldest of two children by my mom. We are like 11 years apart. My mom and I didn't have a great relationship growing up, I guess because of my dad. My dad wasn't in my life from the time that I was born, which kind of left a little bitter taste in the mouth of my mom. And a lot of things that happened to me growing up was a product of that. The things that she spoke to me, the things that she said to me, that just kept my spirit broken and dampened all the time. I didn't know what it was to be loved except for by my great grandmother and my great aunts, which were her aunts and grandmothers. I'm not saying my mom didn't love me. I'm just saying at that particular time in her life, she didn't know how to show love. And so that set up like a realm of abandonment and rejection for me. And by my biological father never being in my life, that was something that hurt deep within. I didn't know it at that time, but I found out later that was a part of what my issues were. I was molested at 6 years old by my aunt's husband. My aunt used to watch me for my mom while she worked. And so one of the things that he said to me was, you better not tell anyone, because if you tell, your mom gonna put you away because you know she don't want you anyway.
Wow.
And so for many years, I kept that to myself. But in the years that I kept that to myself, I grew more angry. I grew more bitter. I acted out on behaviors. I never wanted to be at home anymore at my mom's house because I felt like she didn't care nothing about me. I always wanted to be somewhere else, but I never wanted to be at my aunt's house again.
Right.
And I was always sent there. And every time I was getting ready to be sent there, I would act out, but nobody caught on. So later on, my great-grandmother kind of caught on that something was wrong.
That something was wrong.
Yeah. And
that was your great-grandmother?
My great-grandmother, yeah, my mom's grandmother.
Okay.
And so when it was found out, I had been being molested for 6 years. I was 12. And what was said by my mother was that if I wasn't so grown, that wouldn't have happened.
Ooh.
So, of course, my anger and bitterness towards her continuously grew. And mind you, my father wasn't in my life, but my grandmother was. His mother was. She always tried to get me when he was coming down. He had a whole nother family. He had married. He had stepchildren. And every time they would come down, he would always show them love and affection, but he never showed that to me. Didn't understand why. I was the little girl that sat in the corner and watched everything go on around me. But my grandmother always, she always showed me love.
Always detect something, yeah.
Yeah, she always showed me love. And so, it came a time where I started acting out in school, getting suspended from school. I ran away from home because I didn't want to be there. Because honestly, at this point, my mom had gotten married. I wasn't, a part of her wedding. I wasn't even allowed to go to the wedding.
And she just didn't like you.
Yeah. And so when that happened, and my stepfather, don't get me wrong, he's a wonderful man. He's a protector. He's a provider.
God bless.
Yeah, but my mom, she was just the opposite. And so, like I said, I acted out in school a lot. Was getting suspended, was getting sent home. I would cut school, started smoking weed, started hanging in the bars with older men. Because by this time, I was so messed up. I was looking for what I wasn't getting from my dad and other men. Like older men, like the attention from them. I was looking for a father figure. My stepfather was... I'm going to say he was a father that cared as far as making sure that I was provided for and all that. But he wasn't much of a person that you could go to and talk to, and get results from. And I guess it's because of the way that he was raised back then.
Yeah, because a lot of this go back generations.
Yeah.
I realize that too, yeah.
Yeah. And so, after a while, like every summer, my mom, she would send me to Alabama to my grandmother, which was her mother.
Okay.
My mom was the second oldest of 16 children.
Mm.
So it was a lot of them.
16.
16. Yeah, 16.
That was that generation, though.
Yeah.
I said generation.
So,
gap.
you
Generation gap.
As time went on, I kind of learned that my mom, from being responsible for children growing up, by the time she had me, and by the fact that my father wasn't there, she was just tapped out. I just feel like that because everything she always said to me was negative and around him. Around him not being there. I can remember getting baptized at Providence Baptist Church where my great-grandmother and my aunts and them went, and she didn't come for that. I can remember, when I was in Franklin and
Elementary school.
Franklin
Franklin Elementary
Yeah,
School.
Miss Palm.
Remember that?
Yeah, Miss Palm was my teacher back then. I loved her. Miss Palm was something else.
Miss Draper was mine. Remember
Yeah, I
her?
remember her. Yeah, and we had the little graduation. Going off to Columbus. She didn't come for that. It was like she was never present for anything that elevated in my life. And so, by the time I guess I was 15 or 16, I was really acting out. Like skipping school. I had started smoking weed. Not that much, but smoking. Drinking more so than anything.
Right.
I met my ex-husband before I turned 17. By 18, before I got out of school, I was married. By 20, I had a couple of miscarriages. By 20, I had my daughter. And it just seemed like after I had my daughter, everything just went haywire. It's when everything started to take a turn for me. My ex-husband never wanted me to work. He wanted me to stay home so I could take care of my daughter because she was little, and he just was overprotective. And that was fine. He purchased a house. We had a home. He was a good provider. I never shared with him anything that happened in my life. So by the time I was 23, I wanted to go to work. My daughter was old enough to go to daycare.
Right.
She could talk now. I wanted to go to work. And so I did. I went to work. I started working second shift. And over at, it was Chester Care Center.
Okay. I remember Jessica.
Yeah.
My mom used to work there.
Yes, she did.
My mom.
Yep.
Miss Bernice.
Yes, she
Miss
did.
Al.
Yeah. And so I started working there. And so then I started hanging out with some of the girls that worked there. And then I started going out after work instead of going home. So then I started drinking even more. My ex-husband wasn't a drinker like that. We would go out every now and then. He definitely didn't do drugs. He didn't smoke weed. He didn't. That wasn't his thing. But he did anything in the world for me. He gave me everything I wanted. But he just didn't know what was going on in my life. And honestly, neither did I. I didn't know why I was so angry. I didn't know why I was so bitter. I didn't know, that I was really as broken as I was. I started snorting cocaine. I got introduced to that. And I like that. And then it went from that to smoking it in cigarettes.
Well, we call it baby bottle.
Yeah.
That's what we used to call it back in the day.
Coolies.
Coolies or something.
Yeah. And so by the time that I was 23, I want to say I was in a full-blown addiction. I started.
It didn't take long after that smoking it.
Nope. Not after the coolies, it really didn't. And then I had gone to somebody's birthday party, and after the birthday party, they went back to the house, and they were in the house, and they were in the kitchen, and they was cooking it up. And I was like, what is they doing? And, being nosy. And so I wanted to try that. And somebody told me, you don't want to try this.
Girl, that was my failure.
That was, that was the biggest thing
Woo!
for me, once I tried it, it was like nothing was ever the same again.
Nothing was the same.
Nothing
I
was
feel
ever the
you
same
on that.
again.
I feel you so much on that one.
You know, I started missing work, you know, pretending like I was going to work,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But my husband, he put on, you know, he was like, you carry this big bag, got your little clothes in there, like I ain't know you wasn't going to work, you know. You wasn't bringing no money in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was evident too.
Yeah.
And then he trusted me to pay the bills. And they started getting behind, like the mortgage on the house, the car he had bought me, you know, all of that.
Money is the root of all evil.
You know, and I was in charge of the money. You know, he brought the check home and gave it to me. You know, and say, give me this for the week, you know. And that was that. And, you know, it's amazing how quickly that after I started smoking cocaine, that my life took a turn for the worse.
I can testify that.
The lying, you know, the manipulating, the stealing the money from the bank accounts, you know, not paying this bill, not paying that bill, you know, just missing all the time, you know, from the house. When he come home from work, I would be going out. Then, of course, eventually I lost my job, so I wasn't going anywhere. So while he was at work during the course of the day, I'm getting high, you know. And then I have my daughter, you know, and it wasn't that I didn't love my daughter. I didn't know how to love me.
Say it again?
I didn't know how to love me.
Absolutely.
So in the midst of that, you know, I started neglecting time with her. You know, time that she needed, you know, and at the time I didn't even realize that I was doing the same thing to her that had been done to me, you know, and it just got worse over time. And then my mom got involved, and she told my ex-husband to take my daughter, you know, because he had left. He left, I guess, we had been married for like 8 years before he finally was like, enough
Got
is
tired
enough.
of it. Enough was
Yeah.
got sick and tired.
Yeah, because by the, I'm going to say by the 4th year of our marriage is when everything started turning around and going.
Going bunkers.
Yeah. And so my mom was like, oh, don't leave my daughter. You know, she said, don't leave Taisha there with her. Take her, you know. And he did. And so, and honestly, I didn't put up a fight because I knew what had happened to me. And I didn't want that to happen to her, you know, and I went to rehabs to get myself together, and I sat in rehabs, and I listened to stories, and I was like, well, that ain't me, you know. That ain't never happened to me. You know, this ain't happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, like it would never happen to me. But guess what? I went back out there and everything that I heard in them rooms that I said wasn't me happened to me.
You know, them stories is the medication for.
And I was like, oh my God, they went through all that. Oh my God, they did that. I ain't that bad. Well, I got to be that bad.
Yeah.
You know, and
this
so,
thing don't discriminate.
It don't. And it'll lie to you and deceive you, you know, and tell you it's your friend. It's going to get you through no matter what. Lies from the pit of hell.
Yes, indeed.
It's going to destruct you and turn you out. Trust me. I'm here to tell you, it will turn you out. And as time went on, my ex-husband, he had came to me. He was like, listen, so the CYS don't get involved. Just sign her over to me. You know, you can still see her and all of that. Mind you, CYS wasn't in our life, but I know that my mother and my sister-in-law, because they was the busybodies and always had something negative to say, told him to do that. And you know what? I signed the papers. I couldn't take care of her. I couldn't support her. And then when I did that, he used it against me. You know. And then
that part always come, don't it?
Yeah. And only because he was listening to them, you know, because he was listening to his family and he was listening to my mom, and he thought because my mom was saying it, you know, that it was the word.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, because after all, that's my mother. So
That's
why wouldn't she know? He had no clue
about your
anything. No,
because you said you never discussed it.
I never discussed it with him at all. I think I was like, maybe 15 years clean before he found out anything.
Wow.
Yeah. We were already divorced by that time, and I had started running the streets. I ended up in crack houses. I ended up being overworked, underpaid, sleeping with people I didn't even like. Just so I could get high. I didn't exactly.
I know that world.
And running the streets, running sales for drug dealers, all kind of stuff that I never thought would happen in my life.
That's done
happened. Yeah, I slept in abandoned buildings, because I didn't have anywhere to go. The house eventually, he wasn't paying any mortgage on the house, and I went and got it refinanced under HUD, and then I wasn't paying anything. So eventually I lost the house, so I was living from crack house to crack house, or whatever Negro I could, stay with for a period of time until I wanted to run back to the streets and do what I wanted to do. And the sad part about it is that we was all out there hurting, but everybody was better than everybody, so they thought,
Ain't that something? We be all lit, all tore up on the floor, but we
crazy.
Still bougie though.
Yeah. All crazy. You ain't no better than me. Y'all doing the same thing I'm doing.
But they bougie with it, right? Y'all know I talk about the bougie ones.
Like, girl, if y'all get somewhere to sit down, like, for real, we all out here hurting.
That's right.
Doing
the same thing.
Exactly. Never thought I would wake up one day an addict. And I was a full-blown crazy addict. Out there. I was crazy. I know that God spared my life and had his hand on me.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the era that I was out there, girls was getting killed all around me. And girls that I hung with, when we would be out there, and there was only a few of us that had this, like, little code. Like, if you left with somebody, we get the tag number. If you don't go back to the same spot, we looking for you. And sometimes when I would go take a break or take a rest, it seemed like that's when stuff would happen. And I know now that was God.
The grace of God.
Yeah. They was taking girls, hanging them from trees in Philadelphia.
Wow. Was you in Kensington?
No, I was down here, but the guys would pick the girls up.
Okay.
And one girl, she was found in Fairmount Park hanging from a tree. He had took a bottle, cut out her rectum.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And the sad part about it is she was in a rehabilitation because she had to learn how to walk again. She came to the city one Mother's Day and her sister took her to the crack house to get high again. And she never went back. And I was like, she gotta be crazy. She went through all that and she's still out here. Mind you, I'm still out here too.
But that's all the insanity of it.
All the stuff that's happening around me. I was in and out of rehabs, but I was in so much denial because I did not want to deal with the hurt and the pain.
You don't want to deal with it.
So as long as I'm masking that, I can get high, and that's my excuse. Well, you don't know what happened to me. I was molested for 6 years. My dad didn't want me. My mom didn't want me. This, that, and the other. Okay, life is still happening. And then I remember right before I went away to get clean one time, there was this guy, and he used to always frequent 3rd and Flower all the time, because that's where I hung at. 3rd and Flower, 3rd and Rainy. I ran up and down 3rd Street like crazy. And the sad part about it is, I ain't know nothing about the streets when I got out there, because I wasn't allowed to be out like that.
Right.
You
learned them then, though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Max them bad boys then. You learned about streets there.
Man,
never knew about them.
You talking about the hard knocks?
What?
Whoa, I learned a lot out there. Just watching other people. And then, addicts, we become real crafty with it.
Girl, we get smart.
We got smart.
But on streets, we get smart.
Yeah. But they'll teach you a lot out there too. And so it was me and my girlfriend. We were going to go away, and we had made this pact. Okay, this is it. you know, we got a little money. We're going to get us some cigarettes. We're going to finish this 40 because we was lit. We
You
see
said
on
this
40.
40?
Yeah,
Your
we had
head, though,
40.
right? She
Yeah.
said they're going to finish the 40.
Yeah, we had a 40, honey. We're going to finish that, and then we're going to go get ourselves together. We're going to go home, get our clothes, and go to detox. And so this guy pulls up.
Was your detox at Crozier?
Mhm.
Girl, that
Yeah.
thing was the
Yeah.
hotel king for
Yeah,
all of us.
for
wasn't
all
it?
of us. So then it was funny because the guy pulls up. He was like, "Hey, baby, you want to go with me?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good this time." You know, he's like, "You sure you don't want to go with me?" I'm like, "Nope, not this time." I said, "I'm about to get myself together. I'm all right, you know, whatever." My girlfriend said, "I'll go with you." I was like, "Girl, we supposed to be going away." And she went with him. And I'll never forget this. Cable Mike, he had got clean.
My man.
Yeah. He had got clean.
Mhm.
And he pulled up down on 3rd Street. What you doing sitting on this step? I was like, I'm about to go away, but I'm waiting for my girlfriend to come back. You know, I'm not going to put her name out there.
Mhm.
But anyway, I'm sitting there waiting for her to come back. So he's like, get in the truck. And I'm like, okay. I sat in the truck. I'm talking to him. We see all these flashing lights behind us on 4th and Rainy.
Mhm.
You know, like, I was like, what in the world is going on? So I get out, and he gets out. We walk back there. We see cops, ambulance, and all of that. And so we walk up the street to try to find out what's going on. The cops said we couldn't come no further. And I was like, well, what is going on? And how about this dude had took her and cut her throat from ear to ear.
Jesus. Wow.
And, you know, that really scared me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to rehab, and then I write her mom a letter, you know, telling her how sorry I was, and this girl called me.
What?
And she was like, B, I am not dead. And I was like, oh my God. She was like, yeah, he cut my throat from ear to ear, but I'm not dead, you know. And just a lot of stuff had going on. Do you know when I got out of rehab, she was still in the streets?
Getting out. That's the
I'm
insanity of it. Yeah, I'm not
I'm
surprised.
like,
I'm not
what
surprised.
in the world?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my biggest thing when I was out there getting high was I always had to go back and show somebody how good I was doing. But that was the crazy part of it because in reality,
That's the
for
worst
real,
part. That's like you can't do
I had
that.
a reservation to get high. Because why you going back showing them how good you doing now,
Mhm.
Because look where they stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I would be cool for a while. You know, I might go stop by, see this person, see that person, or whatever. Give it 3-4 months. You know, I'm back at their house like, who got something?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did I get back here? You know, and then I met an older gentleman while I was out there getting high,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I started dating him. Like, he would literally come and get me and keep me off the streets when he wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And I would spend time with him, and he was buying me stuff and, you know, clothes and
Mm-hmm.
treating me like I wanted to be treated, but I didn't know how to accept that because I was still
You
in
couldn't
my
feel it.
addiction. Yeah, exactly.
You couldn't feel it.
But I was grateful a lot of times because then I didn't have to be in the crack houses. Then I didn't have to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed clean for like 14 months.
Wow.
And I had got a job at Elwyn, and I was going to Delaware County Community College. And so he was like, listen, he was like, he was telling me to call these people. I need them to move this bed out. I'm going to just go ahead and get the bedroom suit you want, this, that, and the other, blase, blase. I said, okay. You know, and then, because we were talking about just remodeling the house, because it was evident I had been there for 14 months. I was going to be there.
Right.
And all the stuff in his house was old, like mail stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had one little argument about something. And he said to me, I don't know what you capable of. Nigga, I've been clean for 14 months. You know what I'm capable of? Okay. You know, well, I'm going to show you then.
You know,
So, got my paycheck from Elwyn, and I had worked with some overtime, paycheck fat, got my check from the school, went out over the weekend of Martin Luther King birthday weekend. Went out that Friday. By that Monday, I had OD'd.
Are you serious?
Seen my life flash before my eyes. The cops had to come get me from this girl's house because I was about to kill her. Because, see, they had played me the whole time. You know, and I was treating everybody and buying stuff. And, giving people money and doing this, and they were stealing from me the
Mhm.
whole time. And
Sound
then
like
when
my
I
sister,
had
girl.
nothing,
Dang.
and then when I ain't have nothing, she was rushing me to leave. This, that, and the other. Come to find out, because they had took so much from me,
Mhm.
and then I discovered it, and then, it was like this little thing tipped his hat to me
Mhm.
and went in the back of me,
Mhm.
honey, which was the enemy, and I lost it. Tore up our house. There was cops there. I got 302 to closure, and I had to go to that little court they go to,
Mhm.
and it was 8 cops in this
So
courtroom.
so you was right over there where you was working. Wasn't the where you say you was working at first,
I was working at Elwyn,
and the other one at the beginning with my mom.
Chester Care Center.
Chester
So
Care.
I ended up
Yeah,
in the
it-
crisis unit over there. Yeah, sure was. Because it then at that time it became the crisis unit, and I ended up there. And there was this lady that worked there, and she would always come and check on me. She was an older lady, and she would always tell me that God loved me. And one day she was going down the hall, and she turned around and called my name, and she started singing "How Great Thou Art," because I had OD. I literally seen my life flash before my eyes. I seen so much, in the midst of that. And
So tell me something. When you OD, like, could you feel yourself doing that, or you just didn't know what was going on?
I just blacked out.
All right. I just wanted to, like, I never OD'd before.
Yeah.
Throughout my whole addiction. But when I've seen it so many times, working in the field. But I just wanted to know, like, hearing it from an addict, a recovering addict, like, did you know you was going, you just went?
I just went.
Wow.
I just really just blacked out. And and that's what happened. I ended up at the little court thing. He's a doctor or psychiatrist.
Yeah, downstairs,
go before,
yeah,
and then they had to, and then they had to tell what happened or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And there was 8 cops in that courtroom.
It was 8.
It was 8 cops in the courtroom. 4 of them dead now, but it was like 8 of them there, and they were saying that they had never seen nothing like that in their life. As long as they've been out there and seeing people OD, they said I had the strength of 10 men.
Wow.
I had through her TV. Back then, they was the 32 inch that just came out with a big box on the back of them.
Yeah.
And all that. They said I had turned the table over, and barricaded myself against the door so they couldn't get in, so they had to come in through a window.
Wow.
And it took a lot of them to hold me down. They even grabbed me,
So what was you smoking? You were smoking cocaine?
I was smoking cocaine, but remember I had been clean for 14 months.
Right.
So I got high from Friday to Monday nonstop.
Girl.
Nonstop. Drinking, and just smoking, continuously. And then after I seen all the manipulation around me and what was going
and
on.
disease was talking to you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Get him.
You
That
know
voice
they
was
robbed
talking
you.
to you, wasn't it?
You know they robbed you.
Yeah.
You know they took
they took your money.
Yeah. And then,
You know you
and they
had more than that.
Yeah.
I didn't
And
have
they
them
had.
days. Yeah.
And the funny part about it was that I had gave everybody. Who in the heck goes out with $4,500 to get high?
You and the rest of us. That's who doing it. All us
and
addicts.
so,
I don't care how much money it was.
Yeah, just blue money, going down Delaware, getting cases of beer.
And it was fun while you still had some, wasn't it? It was the bond while you still had some. This is when it was gone.
Yeah.
That's when that blackout came.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly when
That's when the
she was
blackout
rushing
came.
me to leave. Nobody wanted me around. Like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what is going on?
Yeah.
I sponsored this thing all weekend. Are you crazy? And that's what happened.
Disease was like this. They got you.
They got you.
They still got dirt.
Yeah.
They got everything.
Yeah. They started talking, and when I blacked out, and I ended up on the when I blacked out, when I woke up the first time, I was handcuffed, and
Yeah, they had to put you on the
I was on a
restraints.
gurney, but I was on a gurney still outside the house, and the police were out there, and the police was bent over, and the enemy told me to grab his gun because if I didn't, he was gonna kill me.
Wow.
You know,
That voice was vicious.
yeah, yeah,
That
because it
voice
was really
vicious.
trying to take me out. You
Mhm.
know, but thank God.
But
you
for the
know,
grace of God.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That God said to me, the enemy is trying to kill you. Be still.
Mm.
And that's what I did. And they put the other handcuffs, you know, they put the restraints on my legs,
Mhm.
took me to Crozier Psychiatric Unit, and there was a guard that worked there, but he was a pastor. And he...
Oh, you talking to dark-skinned guy?
Mhm.
Big guy.
Yeah.
He. I think he passed. I know exactly who you're talking about. He was my sergeant when I was working there. He had the white shirt.
Mhm.
He had a white shirt on, right?
And
I can't remember his name.
And when I woke up, he was in my room, and he says, "Who is your pastor?" And I was like, "What?" You know. He said, "What church do you go to?" And so I told him, Eternal Hope of Glory.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "I'm going to call there and let them know let your pastor know you're here." He said, "Because you said, 'Thank you, Pastor Bess, for praying for me.'" He said, "Thank you, God, for saving me," before you went back out. So he called them and let them know where I was.
Mm.
And I went to rehab. And then while I was in rehab, mind you, I'm
Was Better Health still there or no?
no.
Okay, I think they closed around about then.
Yeah.
Possibly.
So I had I went to Miramont a couple of times, and I ended up over Keystone. And while I was in Keystone, there was a guy that was my counselor. I can't even remember his name. White guy, he was short. He had dark hair. He told me, he said, "They not gonna pay for you to go to rehab again. You not been to rehab and halfway houses I had been like 8 times."
Girl,
I
that's
was
nothing
like-
compared to today.
Yeah, I said the devil is a liar. They're gonna pay for me to go,
Mm-hmm.
and they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up going upstate to Phillipsburg, to Pine Ridge Manor.
I never heard of that.
It's through Magellan, and
Okay.
it was on a little country. It was in a little country area in Phillipsburg. The rehab was an old hotel.
Mm.
You know them sideway hotels
Yeah.
where they got connecting rooms or whatever.
Right.
That's how it was. It was off a highway. They had no buses. The only bus that came through that country, John, was the trailways that went into State College in the morning and come back in the evening.
Wow.
And everybody there was like, you know, drug addicts and alcoholics. But we only went to our main meetings was alcoholic meetings. You know, we went to AA meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you what, them old timers in there did not play with us. You thought you knew something, you ain't know nothing playing around with them. And I went through the program in Phillipsburg. I stayed there for 4 months. And then I moved to State College. I had got a job at the Atherton Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved to State College. And I stayed, me and one of the girls, she was actually in school at State College. We shared an apartment. And then I got a job working for I can't even think of the name of it now. But I was a live-in. So I took care of, I worked second shift, and I took care of some mentally challenged people in the home. And my room and board was that because I lived there, I stayed there overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for 2 years, and I got hurt on a job. And we was in a bad car accident. And so then they wanted me to find somewhere to go until I could come back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up coming back to Chester. And my cousin, she had got a house built. And so she was leaving my grandma's house on 7th Street. And so they said I could stay there. And mind you, I could pay rent to stay there. And so I was like, okay, it was a family house anyway, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I was there about 4 months, and they put a sheriff's sale sign on the door because they hadn't even paid the taxes the whole time they was there. They was
Wow.
saving their money to get a house built. So then I go out and make arrangements to pay some taxes, to pay the taxes. Of course, I got my job back at Elwyn, thanks to Miss Carson. Miss Carson, she looked out for me.
Shout out to Miss Carson.
Yeah, Miss Carson Hall was my girl. She just told me, just get yourself together, I got you. And she did. And I had got my job back there, and I was working and back at Elwyn, and and then I started dating this guy. Worst thing I could have ever did in my life. And I thought everything was good, and I gave my daughter. Me and my daughter regained the relationship.
Okay.
And we were good, and I gave her a 22nd surprise birthday party at the house, barbecue, because her birthday is in August. And the next day I was sick, and I was like, oh, what is this from, why am I sick? Like, I didn't really eat nothing, yesterday maybe that was it or whatever. Goes to the hospital, I'm pregnant.
Wow.
I'm 42 years old. Yeah, my daughter was 22. Yeah, I'm 42 years old. About to have a baby. And so I figured that was probably to slow me down, And so I told him he didn't have any children. And so the older gentleman that I used to see had contacted me. And he was cussing, and he was, saying all this stuff to me. And I'm like, what in the world is you talking about? Well, he had contracted AIDS, and he blamed me. Mind you, I am not HIV positive, thank you, Jesus.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Lord.
so, but I went through the process of getting tested and all
Getting
that.
checked and everything.
Yeah, and in the midst of that, all scared and nervous and all of that, I relapsed. I relapsed. Just like that. I didn't even think about it. Mind you, I had been clean for 5 years.
Yeah, that was fear. That's the
You
power
know.
of sickness. That fear, boy, I tell you, is like.
Yep. And so, matter of fact, I relapsed before I found out I was pregnant. I'll take that back. And I found out I was pregnant, so I went away again. They took me back at Pine Ridge Manor. I went back there, and I stayed there for almost 6 months this time. And so I didn't have anywhere else to go, so I had to come back this way, and I was pregnant, so I needed to, come back, get myself situated. Needless to say, my daughter died.
Wow.
Yeah, I had her at 7 months. I came home for Christmas, actually. And I was going back to pack up my stuff. I came home to visit everybody. I went to my mom's house. She wouldn't even let me in. She talked to me through the door, because she's still on this bitter roller coaster that she was on. And mind you,
Did she drink or drug or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, my mom never drank or drugged. She was just bitter. She just lived a lonely, bitter life. And I found out later, she had some stuff that she had to deal with, that she didn't deal with, that caused her to be kind of closed off and angry, but she never got healed from it. She held on to the unforgiveness. And so, to go back to me losing my daughter, after I lost my daughter, December the 27th, 2 days after Christmas, I found out that he was married. Nobody would have ever believed he was married because he was always around my family. He was always with me. I had no clue that this man was married.
He was married.
He was married.
I tell you.
And how I found out was one of my girlfriends that worked over Crozier, when she sang me, she said, "Somebody, you have a baby?" I said, "Yeah, I lost her." And I had, it was like a little small picture that I carried of her that somebody had made for me, and it had both of our names on it, his and mine. And that's when she told me. She's like, "Stephanie, he married." And I was like, "No, he not." Mind you, his wife worked over Crozier.
Are you serious?
In housekeeping.
Wow.
And so, when I called him, he wanted to act like he didn't know what I was talking about. And he was like, "Who is this B?" Like she said something like she was lying. But then he finally told me the truth. And at that time, I didn't know God like I do now. I felt like that's why my daughter died. So then here I am, stuck. angry, bitter, if I don't do something with this, I'm going to be back out here getting high. Because that's the first thing the enemy told me. See, you know, you think you're doing something, you might as well go back out and get high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but thank God that I have spiritual parents, Dr. Halty, Bess and Madeline, that, you know, prayed for me, encouraged me, lived a life of loving the Lord before me. And no matter how many times I ran in and out of their church, they were always there for me. They ain't turned their back on me. They ain't shunned me for nothing. They just kept encouraging me, and I kept coming, and I kept coming, and I kept listening, and I kept studying, you know, and I kept drawing closer to God on my own. And it took me a long time to forgive him, you know. It took me a long time to forgive him for that. But it was like, you know, in some ways, I still loved him, you know. And I'm going to tell you, that was a roller coaster for a minute. Thank God I didn't get high no more. I decided on April the 21st of 2006, my daughter died in December, that I was going to, she died in December 27th of 2005. I'm like, I gotta go away. I cannot do this. You know?
So going away so many times, right? This last time, what made you felt like this was the time? Your daughter?
I felt like no matter what happened, you know, after this happened this time, it was like no matter how many times you get high, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to bring her back. You already know what the drug has taken from you. Do you really want to live like this for the rest of your life? You know.
Have you ever worked the 12 steps?
Yeah, I had begun working the 12 steps in the beginning, and I was getting sponsors.
Yeah, I hear you saying rehabs, but I wanted to know if you was introduced to the 12 steps.
I was introduced to the 12 steps. I had sponsors, you know.
So you did the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and I was going to Narcotics Anonymous meetings. I'm sorry, I left that out. I used to go to the ones that were down at Community Hospital, but I kind of like lost a little along the way going there because I was going to meetings and I was seeing people who were celebrating being clean, but they saw selling drugs. You know.
Yeah, I seen that in my time too.
Yeah, and so nobody ever approached them about that.
Them.
They never addressed them. You know, in one meeting I did, and it was like I was wrong for addressing them, but are you kidding me? He's celebrating another year clean and sober, but he out on the corner of wherever
selling
drugs. And y'all think that's okay. And so that kind of like turned me from the Narcotics Anonymous, and so I started going to Woodland to the AA meetings. And I went there for a while. But
it was always AA meeting was more structured.
Yeah.
Because it was alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, and in AA, NA couldn't speak in AA.
Yeah.
So, but you was dual diagnosed, right?
Right.
You had alcohol and drugs. Yeah. So my thing was I used to go to AA so I can learn how to listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they taught me how to listen and hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I went back to NA, I would share. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just started feeling and seeing, you know, everything around from there that was, you know, listening to people's stories. For medication, basically, not for just, I wasn't doing that because I was doing that too.
Because by that time, I could identify.
Yeah.
Like I know what she's talking about. I've been there.
Right.
You know.
And when you get clean, though, and you see something like that, somebody who's selling drugs, you know, that's going to be a whole nother topic on Living in My Truth, y'all, because that happens a lot. You know, disease is so cunning, baffling, and powerful. It'll make you think, okay, you ain't using right now, but you're selling. You're still working for me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I still got you.
Right.
You follow? Because, you know, when you clean up, you clean up in recovery. When you clean up, there's no such thing of all of that. There's no such thing of, that's relapsing, actually.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're just not using a substance.
Exactly.
You know, so I just want to set that out there and set that straight because selling drugs is also an addiction.
Yes,
There's no doubt about that.
Yes, it is.
Selling drugs is also an addiction.
Yeah.
Let me see how many people's on here for you. Daphne Payne. Hey, Daph. Thanks for coming on. Hey, Teresa. Donna Billop Johnson. Thank you always. Sophia, my girl. What's happening? Adrian Stokes. You know her? Thanks. Hey, Age.
Hi.
Marta Cotman. That's my
Marta.
bestie. Brittany, is it Kelly? Hey, Miss Phyllis Betham, I'll be on here next week. I see you on, huh, baby? Thanks for coming on. She will be on here sharing next week.
Okay.
Angie, that's my bestie.
Okay.
Angie McKinney, that's my girl. Dar, you know, Rosalind Burton, thanks for coming on. Cheryl Wright Butler,
She goes to my church.
that's your girl. She said, hey, Stephanie, Katanya, Michelle Fleming, what's up, baby girl? Lori Winbush, thank y'all all for coming on. Veneer, that's my girl, she's Deli always. And Regina McKenzie, Brittany, that's Brittany again. I know my, that's my camera thing. You gotta get a battery.
Okay.
She told me she hear the beep. Miss Tracy, your smoke detector beeping. Look, that smoke detector is going off. Sis, what's it say? I don't even know what that means. IMBO. I'll get it. You'll say it. Kitty, hey Kitty. Kitty comes on daily, you know, and Veneer. Thank y'all. Y'all always on here. I just wanted to go through and just, you know, shout y'all out as I always do. You know, today we have Stephanie on here, you know, who's sharing her story. And says, God, the topic of it is, God, there is no turning back now. You know, she's been clean for 20 years, you know, and she is telling her story. You know, so I hope y'all are listening to all the still suffering addicts and alcoholics today, if you're on, because a lot of people be on here and they just don't say anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
when it comes to the numbers of watching, it just be thousands of them, and be a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are the nearby people,
Yeah.
that's normally always on, you know, but they either experienced it, know somebody who experienced it, lived with it, you know, or dealing with it, or whatever. You know, they learn a lot from living in my truth. Y'all shout that out and give me some hearts if y'all heard what I said. Linnell Edwards, love you, Stephanie Hunt.
Yeah.
And somebody else.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting here like, wow, her story, because some of my stories sound the same way.
Really.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
this thing don't discriminate with
It
us.
sure don't.
It don't treat anybody any different. This is
Nope.
why I'm saying, if you go into the rooms, you know what I mean, or you have a show like this, you know, you'll hear a lot of your story. You sometimes you'll think like, dang, she sound like me. You know what I'm saying? Because we have this, I mean, you've done a lot more, you know, of some things of what I've done, and seen a lot more.
Right.
Like, I've seen the deaths. You know what I'm saying? I've been through all of that. You know what I mean? But I've only been to one rehab. You know, one and done. And by that time, I was done, hit rock bottom, and scared.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, my rock bottom was that rock bottom.
Yeah.
You know, I was beat down and tore up from the floor up. You know, living out there in the streets and house to house and smokehouse to smokehouse. You know, all that's the same, tricking and doing all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when you think about that, when you're not getting high, that shit hurts.
Yeah.
That shit becomes
it's
bad.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to accept that. It's pain, y'all. I mean, if you never used before, believe me, you don't want to. And I hope these stories, you're listening to them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because
God is great.
Hey, look, if it was no God, there would be no me right now. I'm gonna tell you, us, you know, because He woke us up. He woke us up through all of this.
Yeah. He was with us
all of this the whole time, and I didn't even believe in Him, Stan.
Yeah.
I forgot all about God. Yeah. You know what I mean? When it's being little,
I was
going through
angry.
certain stuff, angry at Him,
You know, and Dr. Best used to always say to me, but God loves you. And I was like, if God loved me so much, why do I have to go through this?
I said the same thing. I said, if God loved me, I wouldn't be getting high.
Right.
I blamed it all on Him.
Yeah. And then not realizing all that He went through for us, you know, to even be here in the beginning.
But nothing, what we going through, what we was going through.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? We know now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know now. Yeah, but I didn't know then. I didn't care.
And I think a lot of the things that I went through was to cover up the pain of being molested as a little girl, being abandoned and rejected by both your parents.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot to deal with.
Yes, that's a lot. That's trauma.
And not realizing you know, and getting help when I was younger, you know, as I got older, I just medicated it by getting high.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
I
silenced
just act, yeah, and I
You know,
just
the
acted out
drugs
that anger
silenced it.
to keep people from me. You know, I ain't want to be bothered with people, you know, because I ain't trust nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
Trust
felt
was
like,
big.
yeah, I felt like if my, you know, and the saddest and the most hurtful thing for me throughout my whole addiction was that I did to my daughter what my mom did to me because I wasn't there for her when she was growing up, you know.
She resented that, didn't she?
For a while.
For a minute, yeah.
For a while. You know, we have an awesome relationship now.
Beautiful, but God.
Yeah.
But
and
God.
God restored that. But, you know, the things that she went through growing up, I can't imagine because I wasn't there. But, you know, our situations were different because I was absent. My mom was there constantly saying,
I got you.
You ain't going to be nothing. You're going to be just like your no good father and your horse grandmother.
They were sad by men, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, gosh.
You know, and bitter. And not only that, to finish about my mom had been betrayed by 3 men that she trusted and loved. One was my grandfather. No, he didn't molest her or nothing, but he lied to my grandmother to get her to get my grandmother to stop her from working because my grandfather was in the streets running around with different women, and my mom saw that. So my mom was angry with him for what he did to my grandmother and what she felt like he did to her. And then she was angry with my biological father because he was like, don't tell mom, we just gonna get married. And that didn't happen because he ended up moving to Connecticut because my grandmother, my dad was a township police officer. And my grandmother took his gun and killed the man that she was dealing with from abuse. You know, and so he just embarrassed her. That was his excuse. He left and went to Connecticut. That didn't have nothing to do with him not taking care of me, but he didn't. He just wanted nothing to do with me. And sad to say that after all the years, I never got closure with him. My dad died as a ward of the state of Florida from cancer and was dead for a year before we even knew that he was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and that bothered me for a minute because I was like, that was no way for someone to die. But, you know, you reap what you sow. You know, and my biological father had put other girls through school, put other children through school that weren't even his.
Girl, I know that part. So I tell you, I was
care of
swing around where a whole lot of
them like they was his, and I was like,
yeah, my dad was good for that.
You know, it was sad, you know. And then my mom became sick. She was diagnosed with Parkinson's. And she was still mean to me in some ways. She seen me clean, but she, you know, she was always waiting for the ball to drop. I had been clean 10 years. She was still waiting for the ball to drop. She was still waiting for me to hit the
Not
ball.
funny, but funny.
Honey, that ain't gonna never happen again. You ain't never have to worry about that.
You gotta worry about this one.
Towards the end of her life, I seen some things, and then she started calling on me a lot for stuff, and you know, I was there for her, and
that's a blessing.
Yeah, she was diagnosed with Parkinson's and with Lewy bodies, so she walked with little gaits. She shuffled. She, you know, she fell a lot, and 2025 was the worst year of my mom's life. She fell, broke her humerus back in April. And she ended up in the hospital. She went unresponsive on me 4 days later and ended up in Taylor, went to rehab, and ended up back in ICU at Riddle with complications from COVID and fluid around her heart. And we didn't think my mom was going to make it. And she went back to rehab, and I would go to rehab and find her. Don't ever send nobody in your family to Springfield Rehab. I'm sorry, I just gotta say that. Because that place is deplorable. I went there and found my mom in some real deplorable conditions. I thought I was gonna catch a couple of cases up in there. But I brought her home June the 5th. And She was home 1 week. June the 12th, my stepdad dropped her. I had given her a shower. She was sitting on
Dropped
the
her?
bench.
Like,
Yeah, and
she
he went
dropped
to
on the
lift
floor?
up. Yeah,
Mhm.
he went to lift her up in the shower, and instead of waiting for me to come back, because I went to get a robe to put on her,
Mhm.
he called himself getting in. He just gonna put her in a wheelchair anyway, and so he went to lift her up, slipped back, and dropped her and broke both her legs. And so she had to have emergency surgery on June the 13th, and they said she would never walk again. And so she went to a rehab over New Jersey, and Autumn Lake at Memorial Bridge, and they took excellent care of my
Excellent
mom.
care of your mom.
Oh my God, them girls. And they said, we take care of our own over here, and they did.
Awesome.
My mom didn't want, then I could rest.
Right.
You know, then I could rest. And then I would be feeling bad when I was not feeling good and having migraines and couldn't go there. We got her. And if she wants something to eat, because she was real picky, she would eat that. But I can honestly say that when she wanted to come home, and I didn't want to take care of my mom.
Wow.
I didn't. So, you know, I had to have a talk with God. I didn't want to take care of her.
That's who you
I
talk
was
to.
still angry. I was still bitter. And I didn't want to take care of her. So, you know, I was like, God, well, I got to take care of her. She turned her back on me. You know, she wasn't never there for me. You know, all this stuff was coming up. And then he told me why.
You had to forgive her.
Mm-hmm. Now, not only did I have to forgive her, but he also let me know that he gave me spiritual parents. You know, to walk me through what I was going through and allow me to get my healing. And God allowed me to know that he did love me.
Go through to get through to come through.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
You know, and that the reason why I had to take care of her is because he trusted me to do it. You know. And so for him to trust me to do it, I needed to do it.
Go ahead.
You know, and so I brought her home on September the 19th. And because she said she didn't want her bed downstairs. My mom still had her little pride. Ain't nobody gonna come in here and see me. I mean, she lost all that towards the end. She didn't care. She just wanted to be home. Brought her home on September the 19th. She said, just put my bed downstairs. You stay upstairs so you can stay here and take care of me. And so that made me realize that after everything that I had been through with her, that she had seen me, you know, time and time again, coming to her rescue and being there for her and fighting for her, that she now trusted me. The addict and the little girl that she couldn't stand for so many years that wasn't going to be nothing. She trusted me to take care of her.
Take care of her.
And I did. I did. You know, I took care of my mom. I loved on my mom. I played gospel music in the morning. I prayed prayers all night. I prayed with her. I cleaned her up. I gave her anything she wanted, you know, and I watched my mom deteriorate right before my eyes. Like, I watched her. She went down so fast, you know. And I'm glad I brought her home to do that, you know, because she did. She went there. She told me, I'm not going to be here much longer, you know. So I'm like, she said that a year ago. She's still here. You know, she just say that, you know, to get attention. That's what I thought, but she knew.
She knew.
She knew this time she really wasn't. And so when my mom went on hospice, God did the miraculous. There was a chaplain who came. I would pray with my mom, you know, and ask God to heal her heart. You know, I would quote the scriptures that I knew around healing the heart and all of that. But he talked to her that day. And he asked her, was there anybody that she needed to release? She needed to forgive. And my mom wouldn't even say anything because me and my brother was in the room. So he said, why don't you let me talk to her by herself? So me and my brother, we went in the living room. We were still here. And so he talked to her and he said, is there anyone you need to release and forgive? And she said, yeah. My mom had been carrying 75 years worth of hurt from her father. 60 years, 60 something, because I'm 63.
Mm-hmm.
62 years worth of hurt from my biological father, and about 50 years worth of hurt from my stepdad.
Wow.
These were the 3 men in her life that she trusted. But the one that broke her the most was my stepfather, because she married him and she trusted him and he betrayed her.
Mm-hmm.
And so the chaplain talked to her and told her that she needed to release them and to forgive them, because God was waiting for her. But
Wow.
he couldn't take her with her heart in the condition
Right.
it was in.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom released them and forgave them. And I'm going to tell you what, I came down the next morning, her whole countenance had changed.
Look different.
Skin beautiful. She was glowing. My cousin, my god sister, she came there. She was like, Auntie, skin is beautiful. I said, ain't it? God just started cleaning her up.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got to the point, she didn't want to hear nothing but the gospel music and the prayers. She didn't want to hear nothing else on TV that she used to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, little talk shows. All she
Mm-hmm.
wanted was that. And I'll never forget the Friday that they came to the house. The nurse came and she said, she's ambient, you know. And she said, so I just want you to know that. I said, yeah, well, okay. I said, not even realizing what she was actually saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, so I said, well, the aide is here. We about to clean her up anyway. She said, Stephanie, that's over. So if you want to wash her face, you know, and stuff like that, and keep her comfortable, because by this time, anything I gave my mom, I had to give it to her through a syringe. You know, liquids to keep her mouth moist, or use the swabs and all of that. Yeah, and then she got where she couldn't swallow, so I couldn't even give her nothing through a syringe. So then I would try to feed her ice cream, because I knew that was her favorite thing. But she got where she didn't even want the ice cream, you know, and I knew that was it.
That was it. Mm-hmm.
And so that night, well, I called my family, my cousins, and my daughter, and you know, then I called all her siblings that are still living, that live in South. And I told them, I said, they said, Mom, don't have too much longer. Do y'all want to talk to her? And every last one of them, you know, they talked to her and told her they love her. And then I called my cousin, excuse me, my stomach is so messed up. And he said what he had to say to her. Then I called her other cousin, who's her first cousin. She's 90. And I told her what they said, and she talked to her. And I called my other cousin. And so we were all, you know, in the house, and she, you know, you could just tell. It was like quiet, still.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody left, she started rattling.
What?
So I was like, oh my God. I said, well, I'm just going to give her one of the pills under her tongue. You know.
You mean rattling, like talking?
No,
or?
rattling.
Oh, rattling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like you could hear this, like she had this mucus starting to come.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, the whole day she didn't do nothing. So I put this pill under there and discovered she still had one from the morning that hadn't dissolved. And so when I went to look at her tongue, it looked like an alligator skin. And I'm like, oh my God, her tongue is filthy. I gotta clean it. And my daughter was like, Mom, you can't scrape her tongue. You know, and my brother was like, that's dehydration. You know. And so she rattled and rattled. And my brother sat with her for a while. I went upstairs. I watched her off the camera. And then I run back downstairs. I sit. The next morning, I get on the prayer line at 7 on Saturdays. We have awakening prayer if we don't go to the church.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the prayer line on Zoom. And Pastor Juanita, she praying. And I had put in there, you know, pray for my mom. She's transitioning, you know, and Pastor Juanita, she was on there praying. And Tracy, I didn't hear anything else. I'm like, wait, I don't hear that noise. So I said, I go running, you know, and I'm listening. And she was gone.
She was gone.
And so I'm on the Zoom, and I can't get off. My phone kept twisting and turning. I ran upstairs and told my brother, you need to get up. She gone. My dad, he done already left the house. My stepdad, he was gone because he had a funeral at the church, so he went to Calvary to open the church up. So I called him and said, you need to come back. She's gone. And he came back. And I had to tell the girl, I had to text her and say, let me out, because every time I go to try to leave the meeting, I can't get out. Because I was all messed up. I couldn't believe that she was gone. But I say all that to say this. God healed both of us
Go ahead.
in the midst of her being sick. And anybody that got a mother still living, y'all better love them
Absolutely.
and do what y'all can for them while they living. Because I watched my mom deteriorate. And guess what? If there was any time I would have used the excuse to use, it would have been then. But God kept me even in that. I didn't have a desire to use, but had I not been in the Lord, had I not had the church family that I had to support and encourage, because I got some sisters and the daughters of Judah, they come strong.
Go ahead.
You know, and they some prayer warriors, even when I don't feel like praying. If I text them and say, you know, I need a prayer, this, that, and the other, honey, they either calling me, praying when they call, or they sending me a voice text and they praying.
Go ahead.
You know, and so I'm grateful for that. I learned through Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, and through my steps with the Lord, that if you're not honest and you're not open, no matter how you feel. I had some angry days. I had some crazy days.
Here it comes. That's
but
right.
Guess what? I know where to go with that.
Go ahead.
I know who I can talk to about that. It is nothing, absolutely nothing in this world that would, I don't care what I lose today. My brother was murdered in 2017. If I ain't pick up then, I watched my mom take her last breath. If I ain't pick up then, it is nothing, absolutely nothing worth me picking up for.
Go ahead.
Anybody that is living in an addiction today, know that you are loved, and that is not the way you have to live.
Worthy of.
You are worthy of living a sober life.
Go ahead.
Trials and tribulations going to come.
Go ahead.
But you'll be able to get through them all if you trust and believe in what they tell you in the rooms of AA and NA. And if you trust and believe that God is with you no matter what, He with you in the midst of whatever you're going through right now.
Go ahead.
And He will bring you through. If you trust Him to do it, He will erase everything that has happened in your life.
Go ahead.
And He will make you brand new. I'm a living witness. I was in an addiction for 13 years of my life. 13 years I ripped and ran the streets. Homeless, hungry, ain't have sense enough to save 50 cents for a little Debbie cake and a hug.
Go ahead. We all share that too about the little Debbie.
Yeah, like that was the cheapest thing on the market. And I still ain't had sense enough to save 50 cents for that. Yeah. You know, but you know, anybody going through addiction today, please know that you are worth living a sober life.
Absolutely.
You're going to have some bad days in sobriety, but you're going to have some awesome days in sobriety.
Absolutely.
And everything that the enemy stole from you, God will give it back to you. I'm a living witness of what He will do in your life if you trust Him, believe, and rely on Him. He will bring you through.
Absolutely.
Get you a sponsor. Tell them the truth. I got some sponsees. They tell me the truth. I got some sponsees to try to play. I don't know why they try to play with me, because I ain't the one to play with.
I always say,
Been
player
there,
can't play a player.
Exactly. Been there, done that, and got a couple of t-shirts. But they get it right, you know, and then they get honest. They shy away for a minute, then they come back, you know, they shy away because they already know.
Steph, you know Jeffrey Grazier?
Yeah, I know Jeff.
That's my. He's saying, "Hey, Stephanie, that's my boss."
You know he used to let me come to Keystone and speak to the women on Tuesday nights.
That's right. You did tell me.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah.
Look who I got.
Yeah.
She ain't here giving it up too.
Yeah. been through some stuff. I came out of some stuff. You know, I'm still dealing with life on life's terms, but I'm going to deal with it with God. There
That's
is
right.
nothing, absolutely nothing, that will make me go back out there and pick up nothing.
I know that's right.
And if anybody needs somebody to talk to, inbox me, message me on Facebook. I will definitely get with you and talk to you and help you.
A warrior here.
I sponsor women all the time. I don't do men. No, I'll lead you to somebody, but I don't do men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for personal reasons.
I need to do
but,
that,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a woman and you're in addiction and you need somebody to talk to and you really need some help, I'll love you till you love yourself.
Go ahead.
You know, because somebody did it for me. I'm still the blessed and grateful recovering addict named Stephanie. Thanks for allowing me to
y'all.
share.
Show them hearts for Stephanie, y'all. That story was live, girl. It was live, and so much of my story was in your story.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was just giving me chills, you know, for some of the things that you were sharing, and to see how, you know, this thing, it just living proof that it just don't discriminate.
It don't.
Disease just don't discriminate.
It
Well, I
really
tell you, stories is what got me interested.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When I went in the rooms and heard people's stories, because many of them sound the same like me. It was like, these people done got my Charlie something real. You know what I mean? Yeah. That hard party. I wish I could dream it. I don't know why my phone won't let me, y'all. It was like, wow. So much that you talked about was the same as mine.
Really?
You know, I'm really serious. You know, and that's why I couldn't say nothing. They know I'm usually always cutting and talking and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't because every time he said something else, it was just like, it was tearing me up. It was like, wow, man, it's amazing to understand and like to get somebody like yourself to come on and share a story like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know these. You know, when you share like you were sharing tonight, it just gave me the chills. But it also let me know that God is an awesome God. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because hearing some of the things that you said in your story, I did not see, and I did not do, and I love that though. You know what I mean? Because you only gave me more energy. You gave me more hope. You know, and more. You know, will to stay clean. You know what I'm saying? Because that too can be me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I've been through some crazy stuff, some awful stuff. But like I told y'all, you know, everybody has a story. Yeah. You know, and a story is what I call medication to the still suffering. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about Suboxones and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about real truth, you know, with someone who has real strength and hope. You know, and fighting the beast, because this beast that we have in ourselves is the same. Yeah. You know, so you know, them 12 steps, man, them 12 steps gave me my life back. You know, I'll talk about them from here to Easter Blip. You know what I mean? Because they really work for me. You know, and helping people and sharing my story. It's just like what you just did to me, you know, today. It was so inspirational, man. It was so good. You know, it just brought things back to myself. You know what I'm saying? I keep saying that. You know what I mean? Because some of the stuff you were saying was like, damn, I did that same shit. You know? Like, I can't stand this beast. I hate
it's
ugly. I hate
this.
It's an ugly thing, y'all. I'm telling you. It's a vicious, ugly thing, boy. I tell you. And it got the best of us.
Yes, it did. That's why I said when I used to sit in the rooms when I first started going, I was like, oh, I ain't never do that.
Yeah, that's how I was looking around like,
what? Honey, lived a little longer, did all of that and some.
I thank God that I never picked up cocaine again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, so when I went into the rehab. Yeah. You know, and everything. That was a blessing, I definitely I get freezed up sometimes from this lupus. I had lupus. Yeah, it's one of the things that gets me often. They call it fog in the brain. Yeah. And I could be talking, girl, now.
You're like, wait, girl, I gotta do that at my age too. Like,
with her damn comments, what was I saying?
I be talking to my dude now. I be like, what was I just saying? Because I go from one thing to the other, then I'm like, wait, what did I just say?
Yeah, you really actually forget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then after a few minutes or a second or so, you be like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But anyway, look, this thing is a vicious thing.
Yes, it
and
is.
and the way that we give back, you know, that God asks us to as recovering people is just to share with the next sick and suffering.
Right.
You know, and always, you know, give back what we got, you know, from him. You got some people on here.
Look, that's my daughter.
That's your daughter?
Yeah, she said,
Hey.
Cardi said, hi, my mom. And she loves you. She got my grandbaby watching that. Oh. And my sister, everything. Yeah.
It been popping on. I always stop, you know, for a minute, then try to catch up.
Thank you
Cheryl
for
Wright
watching.
Butler, thank you. Michelle Smoke.
That's my girl.
Hey, Michelle.
We worked together.
Yeah.
We used to work
Vanita
together.
Dower. Hey, Vanita. That's my baby girl, too. You know, I love
Thank
they
y'all for
come on
coming
here. Hey,
on.
Wanda. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming back on. Come on and come out to Living in My Truth war show. Walk that perfect carpet with us, girl. You know, we got to do that strut thing. Jeff Granger, that's my boy. That's my buddy. You know what I mean? But at work, he's my boss.
He's your boy.
You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at with that. But outside of work, that's my boy.
Oh, that's
You know?
my cousin. My cousin, he's in Starling. That's my cousin.
Okay.
She's saying that her father said, hey, he's in Georgia.
Hey, this thing travel, girl. You on a famous couch. That's all I gotta say. She on a famous couch. She is on the couch. Y'all hear what I'm saying?
Living in my truth.
Living in my truth. Yeah, high five on that one. Yes,
Living in my
indeed.
truth.
See, people gotta understand what that means. You know what I mean? Because we are living in our truth.
Yes, we are.
You know what I mean? That was the reason why I chose to name this podcast.
That's awesome,
Living
girl.
in my truth, because that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot about me that people just don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And can see the change. You know what I mean? But you don't know what
somebody been through to get there.
yeah, what I had to go through to get through. I mean, come through to get through. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, and for every one of us who
Hey,
are.
Shalonda.
Wait a minute, I done some girl. Let me stop touching stuff, because you know when I touch stuff go away.
We at EHOG are so proud of you. I love you, Shalonda. Thank
That's
you.
what's up. That's what's up. I'm so glad they came on for you. Yeah, Wanda, Washington, Rosalind, Burton, and 3 others watching. They saying, you know, that's saying that. But yeah, girl, the hearts is going up. Yeah, I don't know why I can't send hearts right now. Your thing white down the bottom.
Send them on that
But my heart and my love goes out to Steph. I am so glad to have had you on this show. I had sent out a message on my porch one day. I was just on my
because we were supposed to be on the deck, but it rained.
Couldn't go out there today. We was going to be on the deck.
It's okay.
We sure
I'm
was.
grateful to
Nothing
come.
stops this stuff.
I know that's
Nothing
right.
stops this.
I'm grateful
We'll get
to be
another
able to
day,
come.
because
Okay.
you're coming back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I tell everybody, you know, this is just not a one-time thing. This is as many
it's a
times
lifetime.
as you need to, as you want to. This girl right here will be waiting for you. You know, and I really, really, really appreciate all that information, girl. That thing was great for me. I'm high as hell. You know what I'm saying? I get high off this shit. And I tell you, but every time I hear these things and share with people, and people share with me, you know, that high is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I said the first time I hit that pipe, which was phenomenal,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Can't touch this.
It's for real.
And this is every time I share about it, every time I talk about it. I just get higher and higher and higher, you know what I mean? And thank my higher power.
Yep, because
You
you
follow
know
for
without him,
everything,
you would have
because
had none
without
of
him,
this.
I would have never made it.
Nope.
I would have never made it. And
Yeah.
today, what we are, these two of us sitting here today, is soldiering for him.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We soldier for our higher power to
Yeah.
help the still sick and suffering that are suffering today.
Yeah.
And the recovering ones who get stuck. You know what I'm saying? Because some
it
get
happens.
high, some get clean, and then they won't change their thinking. You know what I'm saying? And they get
Their
stuck.
attitude.
Their
and
attitude,
Yep.
the way you think, the people, places, and things, you know. And I'm going to say this as well. like even in the rooms today, a lot of that is still going on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's
a lot
sad,
of that is
but
still
it
going
does.
on, and it's just generational change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. You know, that's for the individuals to have to fix
Yep. On their own.
themselves. Yeah, because they not yet know how to listen to hear. You know what I'm saying? To be able to see, because disease is cunning, mouth, and getting powerful,
Yes, it
and
is.
it will keep you stuck.
It will.
It'll keep you stuck while you sober. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't change the thinking,
Yeah.
it's gonna haunt you.
It's going on.
It's gonna haunt you. It's gonna haunt you, and it's gonna pop up on you in a bad way.
So many times, and that's funny you should say that, because so many times I used to beat myself up about not being there for my daughter, and you know how I did my ex-husband, because my ex-husband, he wasn't the issue. He was a good provider and he was a good man.
It was disease was your issue.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
it took me, I know it took me 10 years to apologize, and he called me. You know, I was like, listen, we all go through stuff in life. He said, I just never knew you went through all of that. You know, because you never said nothing. But one of the things was I didn't know how to. And one of the things I heard back when, you know, I was a little girl growing up, and because I was always around my great aunts and them, which was my mom's aunts and my great grandmother. What happens in the house stays in the house.
That's, here we go again.
Yeah.
That generational curse.
What happens in the house stays in the house. The devil is a liar.
Yeah.
But what stays in the house keep you sick.
Hey.
You know.
Hey, not in my house.
Yeah.
What happened in here, we telling.
Yeah.
And I always made my kids know that, no, we don't keep that type of secret.
Exactly.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even though they did with some.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you, you know, when I was little, that's the way that it was.
That's
You
how
know,
it
I've
was.
never been, you know, like abused by, you know, a man raping me or anything, but they've tried. You know what I'm saying? And all so-called uncles,
Right.
you know, got me on the lap. Then now I know
Yeah.
it was getting hard. They was doing what they do,
Exactly.
whispering all in my ear, touching all in my ear, you know, and all that kind of stuff on the
Yeah.
ones that I thought that I loved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
So
you're supposed to trust.
yeah, you're supposed
Yeah,
to trust,
yeah.
exactly. You know, so
Yeah.
that type of abuse for me was powerful. You know, that when I found out as I got older, I never thought about it no more until I got in recovery, because they told me I had to go down to the toes, you know,
You
and
gotta
get all
bring it
that
all
out.
up.
You got to bring it all up.
Yeah.
Anything that you've been holding that
Yeah.
happened, you know, and all that, and it lifted the weight up off me.
Yeah.
And I forgave them.
Yeah.
Took me a minute, didn't happen overnight, but I
Yeah,
forgave them.
exactly.
And I had to forgive them
For me.
for me,
Yeah.
you know, and until I understood that is when I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of us have those secrets, you know what I mean, from back in the day, you know, from uncles and aunties and, you know, the friends and of the family and cousins, you know what I'm saying? You know, and today, if you think about it, you realize that, wow, that joker was touching me in the wrong way.
Yeah.
He was doing the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm laughing and having fun with it. You know what I'm saying?
Because we ain't know no better.
Because we ain't know no better.
We thought we was just
You
cute,
know?
you know, but
Shalonda Rick said, you guys carry the mental of change.
the mantle
What it say?
changing.
Let me put
The
my
mantle of
glasses on.
changing lives and sobering lives, one addiction at a time. Because
That's
I
right.
sponsor her awesome.
Oh, awesome.
I
Awesome,
sponsor
awesome.
one of her cousins, yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So, like she said, if anybody, you know, needs the help, you know, or needs can't get it out. Needs some
Somebody to
sponsoring,
talk to,
or
a sponsor,
somebody
yeah.
to talk to call her messenger.
Yeah, you can call my messenger or DM me on Messenger, and I definitely will get back to you. I won't leave you hanging because nobody left me hanging.
Go ahead. And that's
Trust
the
me, I
truth.
had a village.
That is the truth.
That's
the truth.
When I started getting clean and sober, I had a village, and I still got a village.
That's right.
Because when I say my ego and family will show up for me anytime I need them, all I gotta do is call one and say I need a phone call or whatever, I need a prayer or whatever, and trust me, they gonna write the group me to the intercessors, and you know this is what needs to be done, and it's gonna get done.
Go ahead.
You know, and I could call any one of them and say I need a prayer, and I'm gonna get one. Shalonda Ricks don't pray about them prayers; she put them out too. Believe that. So you
Go ahead,
know,
Shalonda.
we got a strong, you know,
group. That's
Yes,
what's
and we
happening.
have some
Shalonda,
people
you need to be
on the couch.
on the couch, baby.
Yeah, she is a survivor.
You need to be on this couch,
She's a
Shalonda.
survivor.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
is.
and the couch is open. So to anyone that wishes to come on and sit down and, you know, let's talk. You know what I mean? Let's talk some real stuff. Let's share some real stuff.
Yeah.
You know, if you're willing to share your story and to help people. And it's not just with the drugs and
Addiction,
alcohol,
yeah.
y'all. It could be
Yeah,
with
for sure.
depression. It could be with anxiety. You know, it could be with psychiatric situations. You know what I mean?
Unforgiveness.
Yes, unforgiveness,
You know, trauma
pain,
in
hurt,
your life.
trauma, exactly. You know, we can help you a lot with that. You know, this platform can help you a lot with that. You know, because I do have people that come on that works in every field.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's their profession. You know, I do the best I can to bring,
Yeah.
you know, help and understanding to everybody. You know, I don't try to be a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, but I am a grateful recovering addict.
I know that's
And I
right.
can
Me
talk
too.
this talk because I walk the walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As well as my sister. So,
Yeah.
y'all, I appreciate everybody
Thanks for coming on, guys.
coming on tonight. Appreciate all your comments. You know, please, everybody, share this episode. Share this live so we can touch more people. You know, Michelle, how you doing? Michelle Smoke. You should be going here too. Think about it. But every time I see another face, it's like, come on this couch and let's do some talking.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
This is
so
awesome.
guys, hey Rabia, my Rabia Ahmed, that's my girl. She said, hey, sorry for the tardiness. I'm on 95 going south from Connecticut. Couldn't get a signal, but I'm here. Hey, look, I know your heart is here. That's always there, whether you're on or you're not. You know what I mean? That's my sister. We met at SCI Chester.
Oh,
And
okay.
been friends ever since. It's been
Okay.
some years
Awesome.
now. Yeah, and that's my girl.
Mhm.
You know, she has written some books too.
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You didn't tell them about your book real quick.
So I do have a book out called By His Grace, and it's my journey through derailment of addiction and how I got to recovery. It's on Amazon, or if you DM me, I do have some available.
All right. All right. All right, y'all, let's have a star party, even though mines don't work. Oh, here they go. Look. Now, am I lying? It wasn't there, was it?
It wasn't.
I'm telling you, all, I don't know what happens to this phone, but I'm going to give all these hearts as long as this finger can touch it. So y'all can join me with this party. And I want to thank my girl Stephanie for coming on here, sharing her
Thank you
strengths
for
and hopes,
having me.
you know, and bringing all that love and understanding to Tracy Allen, living in my truth. Look, I'm really tearing it up. Look.
Yeah, you really
And,
are.
let me stop.
Cut it out.
I done put up probably
God bless y'all.
1,000 hearts by now because
Thank
the
y'all
thing
so
be
much
done went
for
away
watching.
again.
Yep, it went away.
You know what I mean? I tell you, I
Yeah.
don't know what be happening to these phones, girl. Thank y'all for the stars. Thank y'all for sharing this with me. You know, with her. Thanks everybody
Thank you
who
for
sent a
everybody.
star. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Y'all can continue to do that for me. I appreciate it. Help me with my monetizing my
Okay.
episodes of Tracy Allen living her truth. See how that thing happened? Boy, I can't stand it, but I pray about it though. I really
It's
do.
all right. It's all right.
You know what I
got
mean?
you.
Hey, look, y'all. I'm being honest. I have 15 tickets left for the LMMT Awards, and if you guys want them, come on and get them. You know what I'm saying? The 13th is my day, my last day for receiving tickets. You know, for people who has tables. You know, if there's any left from that, I'm definitely going to be on here shouting that out as well. But I myself have 15 tickets left over. You know, so if you want a ticket, look, just messenger me. You know, or if you have the flyers of any kind, call my number. You know, what is that? Activity Star Party. Girl, I don't know what I
did you
just did.
just
I'm going to
do?
just hit that and send it to myself. How about that?
Don't play so much.
It's up to let it.
She over here messing with something.
Anybody wants to send a star party, I guess that a star party means if you want to send 20 cent, 30 cent, 50 cent,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
to hit
That's
the star
what it is.
party. See, when you get to a certain level, that'll start happening.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So people, because I need more stars.
Okay.
I'm not getting stars, to help keep me up.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes, and that holds me back from actually moving up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a story to everything on Facebook.
I see.
So y'all, if you can, please
Star
send me
up.
stars. You know what I mean? I don't want to
I'll
drop
do
levels.
that.
I want to level up.
I know that's
Y'all know I have that episode of level up. Level up. Don't let me have to bring it back. Thanks everyone who
Thanks,
sent the
everyone.
stars. I appreciate you. Okay, Mare, come on. That's my girlfriend Mary too, Mary Almond.
I know Mary.
You know Mary?
Yeah, I
Look
know
who's
Mary.
here, Mary. Steph. Hopefully she gonna be at the LMT Awards too. All right, so guys, it's taking about that time. I know she has to get back down the road. We appreciate you. I know
Good
I
night,
do.
God bless.
From the heart, like I do every week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep coming on, keep us flowing, keep us moving on, living in my truth. And if anything you want to come on here and you want to sit down and you want to talk about, the couch is waiting. Okay, so y'all have a great night. Thank you for so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'll see you
And
guys
thank you.
next week with little Miss what's this child's name again?
You don't forget.
Girl, I tell you, my brain will flow, and then that bad boy will shut right off,
What is her name?
It's on. Look, I can't even get the thing to go down no more. But that's all right. My baby girl is coming next week. You guys will see the flyers. They'll be coming out.
Okay.
It'll be coming out actually tomorrow. She has a powerful story for us too, and she's young. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I'm so glad that a lot more young people wants to come on and share their stories. It almost sounds just like yours.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. It
Wow.
almost sounds just like yours, and she
Yeah,
sent me a text that was like, it was so
How you
touching. I had to call her.
Oh,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah.
And she was willing, to come on. She said her mom saw a flyer and brought her a flyer home. She said normally the flyers don't be interested, but was there something about my flyer that interests her?
Good.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just God. That's all that is. So I will see y'all next week. I will have her name and flyer sent out tomorrow. And y'all tune in next week because it's going to be a fantastic episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got anything to say?
No.
Anything
Good
else
night.
to say?
God bless.
Let's thank her again. And I will see you guys next week.